At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I'm doing everything I can. Now stop calling me Shirley.
The center has to be at least 3 times bigger than this.
All right, it's another edition of Sincerely Unqualified. We got the new format. We're going to do movie news, and today we're going to be talking Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds new hit movie. I mean, we could call it a summer blockbuster because that's basically what it is.
It made $28 million in the opening weekend. I think it's a pretty big hit, I'd say. Yeah. Especially when movies are just starting to open back up. $28 million is a pretty good sign, I'd say.
Big.
I think $28 million is not a bad mark to hit.
Yeah, depending on where you are in the country probably, or depending on where you turn your attention, it seems like things could be getting dicey again.
Yeah.
You know? We'll table that, but before we actually get into the news, what we do want to talk about is baseball. I mean, I used to be a baseball fan when I was a kid, I would say, within reason. Like, I liked playing baseball, and then the Philly sports fan. Phillies were really good in 2008, won the World Series, so I was a baseball fan then. Yeah, the year after 2010, they were also good. But I can't say... I know.
Yankees won in 2009.
I know.
Sorry.
But I'm saying that, well, the Phillies were actually good in 2009 too, and 2010.
I know, yeah.
I don't really care about baseball at all. Like, I care about all sports in general. Like, well, also, we could talk about Hard Knocks too, but baseball in general, I don't really care. And then the one thing that they've done right in the last, 12 years, it seems, is decided to do a Field of Dreams game. They're like, hey, you remember this movie? Like, probably gonna do Sandlot next.
Remember 1989? Wasn't that a great time for these players who weren't born yet?
This is Kevin Costner. You know him.
He's in Yellowstone.
At least 73% of the people on these teams probably have watched Field of Dreams.
Yeah, they're like walking up to Kevin Costner. He's like, hey, they're like, you the new manager? Like, who is this guy? What is he doing here?
Just the one backup catcher is like, hey, aren't you in Yellowstone? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's my show. Like, I love that they did this, though. I think it was awesome.
It looked sweet.
The field looks so cool.
Yeah. Apparently, I checked out some comments from people. Apparently, Iowa sunsets on cornfields are just notorious for being awesome. But I mean, they had the game. They did it right. They had the game go through sunset. There was an insane walk-off, which was just capped off and incredible. Dude, honestly, that made me think. I think probably 5 years or so ago. This is when I actually was. I used to like college basketball a ton more than the NBA. Like, I used to think NBA was all walks, no defense, whatever. And then I remember when I was in that frame of mind too. I think it was pretty popular to say that those games were rigged. When I see the walk-off home run at the end of the Field of Dreams game, I'm like, what are we doing here? That's too perfect.
Especially to beat the Yankees, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
How are you? You bring everybody together. I'll take it. The Yankees, I won't say a punching bag, but they're a common enemy for the majority of the country.
Need one. It's like Notre Dame football. If you're not a fan of them, if you're not a fan, you don't like them.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, we'll take it because all we have to say is a specific number, and then everything kind of goes out the window.
Yeah,
but,
I get it.
Which I won't say. But I think that it was I would love to see more of this in the future, and I don't know how it happens, but I would love to see more of these integrations of movies into sports.
Yeah,
and how this works. I don't know where it goes from here.
I'll ask you this. Is it better if we do Field of Dreams 2? Because I could see that just being come on. I don't really need to know about that.
I think it's 1 in 5 years.
1 in 5 years would be great. What I was going to say, would you rather a Field of Dreams 2? Because we know it already worked. People like Field of Dreams. By the way, the sign saying the Field of Dreams game presented by Geico. I understand that everything needs to be branded, but it's just come on, can we leave it out of the sign?
Can you just run a commercial somewhere else?
Yeah. So Field of Dreams presented by Geico, or The Sandlot presented by Progressive.
So presented by the dip that they had on the merry-go-round thing.
Red
They just presented by Red Man. But I don't know. How do you do the Sandlot? Do you just kind of make it where the set was and just make a giant field?
Have, like,
do you
a huge dog.
have a giant police
dog
in the back?
The dire wolves. But dress them up as a Rottweiler. James Earl Jones is just chilling out there. James Earl Jones impersonator.
If he made the speeches instead of, like, Kevin Costner did this for Field of Dreams. If James Earl Jones came out and was like, all right, boys, let's play. And I think everybody would lose their minds. I think every single person in America would go insane. Also, I want that to happen because I don't know how old James Earl Jones is, but it would be incredible for that to actually happen.
He's 90 years old.
That's old. That's not young.
That's not young. Hey, why don't we speed up this Sandlot game? Do it next year.
Let's do it.
Maybe do it now during the World Series.
Can they host the World Series at the Sandlot? I think that's a good call.
That'd
honestly,
be incredible. Yeah, but no, honestly, it was fun seeing. Like, they were cool pictures. It looked like baseball finally did something right. So good for you, baseball. But guess what? Football's back. We got Hard Knocks.
Sorry.
So we're moving ahead with the real sport.
Yeah, we're good on. Yeah. I think that's enough. I think these 2 months in between are good for that.
Dude,
and then
the only
we'll go.
thing that I will say about Hard Knocks, by the way, is I was watching it, and there's always that lull where I'm just like, not really. I mean, I'm watching it basketball, I'm watching whatever. But once I watch an episode of Hard Knocks, I'm like, I forgot how much I loved football. Yeah, exactly. I need football to be back. I'm so excited.
I'm so sold the second that I see that. It's just, I've been waiting for it for so long, and I can't wait for another episode, honestly, especially after this week's games and everything and seeing what happens. Michael Parsons is a beast, but we'll see where that takes us. We got games in a few weeks, so we're good.
Parsons,
everything's gonna come around finally.
Yeah, so I mean, there's the week update from our lives. I mean, that's probably the most interesting thing that happened outside of movies. We will move into movie news right now. What I would probably start with, so essentially it comes down to Disney and Marvel.
As always, it seems like.
Of course, yeah. So there are certain release strategies that these, I guess, corporations are taking. It's a Disney decision ultimately. So Shang Chi or Shang-Chi, however you want to pronounce it, the Legend of the Ten Rings, it was not disclosed whether it was going to be on Disney Plus like Black Widow was for the premiere access, pay $30 but sit at your home and watch it, or if they were going to make it box office exclusive. And within the last week, they made it box office exclusive. So the Disney CEO basically said it's essentially going to be an experiment to see how many people actually will get out to the theaters when it's not an option to watch at home.
That's a thing that I think we saw this weekend. I think that it's good that we saw a movie like Free Guy, where you could look at it as, I don't know how you looked at it coming in, but I looked at it in a semi, like, I hope this isn't corny kind of way. Yeah. And for it to pull the kind of numbers that it did, being the movie that it is, not having the backing of Disney and Marvel Studios and all of that, I think that there's no... yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, a Marvel movie.
Oh, yeah, it's not. It wasn't in the MCU. Like,
exactly.
It's not like you have that following.
You have an instant base that is going to make an effort and go see that.
Yeah.
Even if it's not even if it's not like a Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or a Thor, something like that, there's still this dedicated base. So I think seeing Free Guy, I think that's more of a testament to people going to theaters rather than it being an experiment in its own right of like, let's see how this works. I think it's just
but honestly, I wasn't even like that. He did, and granted, it was during an investor call, and when you're a CEO, especially a CEO of Disney, every single word that you say has to be planned out, or at least.
Who's that again? Bob Iger?
No, Bob Iger stepped down. It's Bob Chapek or something.
Another Bob.
Basically, he did call it an experiment, and I would say it kind of is. And it's funny that we're talking about Free Guy, because I agree with you, but at the same time, they didn't know how well Free Guy did. So Free Guy did better than they even expected. So they were working with Free Guy's expected numbers. And yeah, I think with this movie specifically, it sounds like the people that know what it's going to be do realize it could be a good theater movie, because it sounds like it's going to be a lot of really nice, like, hand-on-hand action, a lot of like kung fu, that kind of stuff, which really does well on the big screen. That's another thing that I'm sure we'll talk about with Free Guy, because I don't think I would have liked Free Guy as much as I did if I had just been sitting in my living room having distractions around. Like, these big action blockbuster movies should be watched in theaters, but I do understand people being like, okay, so why put Black Widow on the streaming service when honestly things probably were technically like better now?
I don't know, because
say
there's
Shang-Chi's,
still that hesitancy back then too for some people to go to the theaters. Like,
there's gonna be hesitancy for a while.
Yeah, no, that's true. I saw Free Guy in the Dolby theater.
Oh, okay.
Like, where places have those insane sound.
Yeah.
And I wasn't used to that kind of sound again.
Dude,
It's
talk about it then,
ridiculous.
but I totally agree. But then, they're basically saying that it's going to be, they're projecting that it's going to be almost as low as the Hulk in terms of its opening weekend. And I don't think that's about the actual movie itself. I don't think that's about where theater goers are right now. I just think that it's like maybe they're looking at the other dual releases. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out, because I know that there are a lot of huge Marvel fans like us that will probably go to the theater to watch it, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Who knows?
Yeah, I will figure it out. I'm sure that it's going to do well. I feel like even after a movie like Old made 15.8 million opening weekend in the theaters, and then you see Free Guy make 28 mil. I mean, it's going to be an upward slope, I feel like, if there's not something coming down the line that we kind of don't know about with movie theaters and everything like that. I'm excited to see, though. After seeing this movie in the theater, for me personally, I know I want to go back. I know I want to go back for the next round and the next round and the next round.
I think people just need to get that first one out of the way. So maybe that's almost their plan. It's like, let's just force them to go to the theater for this one, because we have the Eternals is coming out November 5th after. Like, they have so many that people just need to like go, and then they'll be like, oh, that's right, this is awesome.
The issue is when you give people that option, laziness is always going to prevail, because for me, like, if I had the option of sitting in my apartment or doing something and just waiting and watching it for an extra $10, I'll probably do that, versus having the effort of planning, going to the theater, everything like that. I think laziness always prevails, so taking that option away is a huge sign for like, just get your ass over there and go see it.
Right. We'll move on from that, though. I think we probably said enough about it. The next one, it's a casting thing technically. Okay. So I did not watch the first movie, but I'm a huge fan of the person that voiced the main character. So we have Sonic the Hedgehog. That whole movie came out. They'd leaked, or I think they even released a trailer with the original design, and then they redid the entire movie. Like, they pulled a Shrek. Eddie Murphy kept like demanding that it be in a Scottish accent or something.
That was a huge controversy. People saw Sonic online and were just like, what did you do to our boy?
Yeah. And then Ben Schwartz and Jim Carrey movie did really well received. I think people were surprised in a good way. So I used to play a little bit of Sonic back in the day, nothing crazy. So I at least know who the character is that this casting news is about. But I mean, Idris Elba just keeps getting work, and he keeps getting all this work. It comes out from, I think, an Instagram post. I think he just put a picture of the Sonic, the Knuckles hand or whatever. Yeah. So people knew about it. And then and we'll talk about a little something like this during the actual movie itself, Free Guy, when we talk about it. I don't really know too deep into, I don't go too deep into the internet with comic book news and stuff. So there's this guy who I'm forgetting his name right now. I'll bring it up as we keep talking about it. But basically, and we'll put it here on the YouTube. We'll put the picture up. He put a really weird picture of Knuckles merged with Idris Elba, which, beyond the casting news, I think he did it to be to joke, because everyone goes to him for all these fan art things. So Boss Logic. So I saw on Instagram, the guy has 2.2 million followers. And he even said it's a cursed image. Like, I'm assuming you're looking for a cursed image. And oh god, it's awful.
It's like one of those Benny Boy things that I sent you with all those cursed images. It's another one of those. It's like, Benny Boy, we're in your wall. That whole thing. Those are cursed images. This is another level of it. I looked at it. The second Kev sent it to me, I looked at it and I was like, oh god, no, who did this?
And the thing is, when you see it, you're not surprised at all that it exists.
No,
you're like, of course this is going to be a thing.
The internet has weathered us down so intensely that this is not unexpected in any way, shape, or form.
This should make people faint. But now we're just like, it's pretty mellow, actually. I'm surprised that his penis isn't out, if I'm being honest.
Oh, that's it? That's what people are freaking out about? That's it? What do you mean?
So yeah, if you're just listening, I mean, hey, come to the YouTube, check it out. Or just look it up. Look up Boss Logic, Idris Elba, Knuckles,
I'd say
whatever you want to look up.
Probably
or don't look it up, actually.
Yeah,
but
maybe
that's
don't
the funny
look it
thing.
up.
It could have been about casting. I mean, I got to admit, I don't know how interesting it actually is that he's going to be voicing Knuckles. Aside from the fact that Idris Elba, he's just in everything. Like anything that he wants to do, people are probably no, of course. We'll give
his
him a job.
career progression has been insane to watch because he's always been great. It's just about those opportunities. And from the days where he was like in The Office to now, you've just seen him. I feel like he hasn't aged a day, first of all.
No. I mean, that's a hot dude right there.
He's probably going to get Sexiest Man again this year. I feel like he got it recently. But the dude's a DJ. He's an actor. I feel like he's for some reason, I feel like he fights or does MMA or something too.
Oh, he's in great shape, yeah.
I mean,
this might have gotten a little weird.
What can you...
I'm just listing all these things.
No, dude, I'm saying
if I could.
He's an impressive gentleman, but it is crazy to see somebody's career just take off like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm trying to say is he propelled to another level, and now he is the guy.
Yeah, he is the
in
guy.
Everything.
Yeah. So shout out to Knuckles. Yeah, sorry that you had that picture made of you. Could you imagine, like, because I also feel like he's so successful and like so put together and actually cares about real things.
Yeah.
Could you imagine showing him this picture and having to explain it that it came from a person with like 2.2 million followers and everyone's talking about this weird picture?
I feel like the reaction from him is just straight up like, the fuck is that?
Yeah, he just forgets about it.
Just like, why are you showing me this thing? Also, I have a quick question for you because for some reason we were talking about box offices. I wanted to ask. So I'm telling you, Quiet Place 1 and Quiet Place 2 total, they were made for total $83 million. I want you to guess how much they made in total, what their total box office was, because it just shocked the hell out of me.
350?
Total, they made $550 million.
550, wow.
Insanity.
Right, that's crazy.
Insanity.
Yeah, I should have thought that because a lot of people did go to the first one. That's another one you should see in theaters, even though I haven't seen either. That's probably why I just won't see either. I'll just,
I saw the second one in theaters, but its budget was 63 or 61 million, and it made 192. So it essentially tripled its budget for. I mean,
that's like an A24 movie right there, but like 5 times the budget.
that just kind of shocked me. Not shocked me in the sense that they're bad movies, just shocked me in how you can take a budget like that and triple it, quadruple it. Did it right.
John Krasinski.
You did it right.
Shout out you, man. So we'll move on to another one that won't have a box office number because it is getting a Disney Plus release date in November 2021. So obviously you're thinking it's a Christmas movie. That is right. The Home Alone reboot coming to Disney Plus November 2021, starring Archie Yates, Ellie Kemper, Rob Delaney, and more. I'm actually going to go through more right now because I got to admit the rest of the cast for comedy fans, it sounds pretty exciting. So you have...
You don't have to say that, Kev.
No, well, just
Are
listen.
you genuinely excited that they're making a reboot?
No, we'll talk about that, but I was just talking cast. So
cast is...
Kenan Thompson, Aisling Bey, Pete Holmes, Tim Simmons, and then some more. Like, when I see Kenan Thompson and Pete Holmes, especially because I haven't really seen Pete Holmes in much recently.
That's true.
So, look, what I'll say...
If he plays one of the robbers, I'm sold. If Pete
No,
Holmes...
the robbers are actually going to be Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney, I think.
Interesting. Okay. Tell me more. I don't really know what to think at this point, honestly.
So basically, I think it's going to be a pretty similar All right, so I'll read right from the Screen Rant article.
Okay.
The new Home Alone film, directed by Dan Mazer, follows a mischievous young boy named Max Mercer, played by Archie Yates, who gets left behind when his family travels to Japan for the holidays. So not France, but Japan. That's the little wrinkle there.
Whoa.
So Max has to protect a priceless heirloom from a couple, played by Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney, trying to break into his family's home to steal it. Of course, his tactics include chaotic hijinks and probably a booty trap or two. I think I said booty, but I meant booby.
Booty trap?
Booty trap.
This kid's just posting thirst traps on Instagram.
It's just regular booby traps, but he shit on them.
That's a booty. This just reminded me of punji sticks, dude.
So obviously it's going to follow a similar thing, and it's not going to be good. It's not like anything that people are going to be pleasantly surprised about, but guess what?
Yeah.
Disney's making it. It's another Home Alone property. No, it's not going to be good. But am I going to watch it? Absolutely. And afterwards, am I going to be upset that I watched it? Probably not.
I probably will be upset at myself for watching it.
You think? Okay.
I feel like each generation
this
needs
actually
their
might be
own kind
really
of thing,
bad.
But I don't see this like the original was very, very, very good.
Yeah.
It started so many things. If you do this motion with your face, you know where it's from, like the hands on your mouth, Macaulay Culkin scream kind of thing.
I have a guy at work whenever he sends me a message like to get my attention, he'll just send me the Kevin meme. Like,
yeah.
I get it, man. I like him.
Good
guy.
You could honestly play a grown-up Kevin in a movie. I feel like that would work.
Like Macaulay Culkin?
You kind of do. No, but if you showed me the kid and then you showed me you, I would believe that you grew out of that.
Guy.
And you were just a kid with a tarantula named Kevin.
Oh, God. All right, cast me, Disney. I mean, throw me the check. I'll make a shitty movie. I don't care.
Honestly, I don't see how this comes out a winner.
No.
The cast itself.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the cast is good. I don't see how this is a winner.
Good casts have been in terrible movies. I don't think that this movie needs to be good, is what I'm saying. I think it needs to be serviceable to watch for. No, it doesn't at all. But guess what? It's going to be made. So I think as long as people walk away from this movie not being like, wow, that was even worse than I expected.
Yeah.
Like, I actually wasted an hour and a half of my time. That's a win for this movie. I think this movie needs to just be some cheeseball, ridiculous, like Pete Holmes being super hammy. Like, good. That's fine with me. It's going to be corny. It's going to be cheesy. That's a Christmas movie.
It's made for kids.
Yeah.
It's for kids, not me. But kids.
But that's actually what we can talk about if we actually want to talk about this movie at all, which we don't have to anymore. But who will it be for? Because do kids actually no? But I'm saying like, let's take.
It's kids whose parents saw the movie and are forcing them to watch it.
Yeah, that's basically what I mean.
That's what it's for.
Are they going to make it even a little more for the parents?
No.
Like, are they going to try to? Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Because I think it could be decent if they don't just go to kids.
Do we know the rating?
I don't actually know.
I just can't see them pulling off like the same kind of stuff they did 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, they tried it. Home Alone 2 was fantastic as well.
Oh, yeah, no.
But they went terrible with the next two movies. So, we'll see. But, I just figured...
This is funny because we were literally talking about a show that makes fun of this last week with Knoxville and Keegan-Michael Key, who are making fun of Reboot. And then this is the next piece of news that we hear about, is that there's a major reboot of a movie that doesn't necessarily need one.
That we knew about this reboot for a while. And it got delayed. It was actually supposed to come out last year, I think. So I think for the last few years, this movie was already supposed to come out. So now it's finally set to come out on Disney Plus in November. That's the news piece. If you're not...
Okay, well... The thing that I will say that's the saving grace almost of this is that it's coming out on Disney Plus and not in theaters.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't go to see it in theaters.
Such a big move
no shot.
for Disney. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no,
nobody's going to see them. Dude.
I'm a big Christmas guy, so at some point, I'm sure I will throw on the Home Alone reboot and just be like, whatever.
They're going to play that Mariah Carey song in the first minute, and you're going to sit through the whole thing with a smile on your face.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes in, I'll be like, oh, this is going to be rough, isn't it?
Yeah.
An hour in, I'll be like, oh, go make some food or something.
Why are we doing this again?
I did that with the Anna Kendrick Christmas movie. I was like, I'm going to keep watching this because it was Bill Hader, too.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point, it didn't get better at any point. But
yeah,
we're going to bridge the gap. This is technically a news item, but not like actual movie news, just an article that I saw that was interesting because we'll start talking Free Guy right after this. I'll just read the headline. Disney rejected Deadpool short film script from Ryan Reynolds to be played before Free Guy. So Ryan Reynolds wrote this short film, and I actually think it sounds hilarious, but
tell me,
so
what is it?
He said he wrote a short film that he wanted Deadpool to be interrogating the hunter who killed Bambi's mom. And then he said, and this sort of rug pull, they said, no, of course, but the rug pull of it was that Deadpool really wanted to know the hunter's secrets on being the most loathed Disney character there is. Deadpool was just a huge fan and wanted him to find out how he too could become the most loathed Disney character, but they said no to that.
I mean, makes sense.
I think
probably a good thing to say no to. Just release it on YouTube.
Well, I think that the thing probably came down to it being like a PG-13 movie. If it was before a Deadpool movie, like if they wanted to include this into like another Deadpool movie, it would have been fine. But this movie probably didn't fit the bill with the normal Deadpool super fans. But
no,
funny.
I think that
there were a lot of Disney properties in this though. It would have fit the bill being like Disney's most loathed character.
I think it would be so great as a post-credit scene because I waited for a post-credit scene. Did you?
See, you know what's funny, actually? I saw a lot of other people get up, and I also got up, and I was like, there might be a post-credit scene, but what my plan was just to look it up after and see if there was one, and then ask you about it. There was
not, right?
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I waited until like the credits hit. But everyone else was waiting too, but there wasn't. So
it's so funny now that like when there's not one, we're like,
I'm kind of disappointed when there's not. Even Suicide Squad had one. I feel like it's commonplace for post-credit scenes now, unless it's like a Leonardo DiCaprio drama. You're not going to get a post-credit scene.
Movies
but you
like
know the kind of movies that have post-credits, and this was definitely one of them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I almost like that they didn't. Normally, obviously, that's to...
I think we're just spoiled with post-credit scenes.
Yeah, but honestly. I mean, normally a lot of the time it's to, like, say, hey, there's a sequel coming, which there is a sequel coming to this movie, but...
Yeah.
I don't know what it needed. I don't think it needed a post-credit scene. I think that there is kind of almost like a pre-credit scene at the end, if that makes sense. Like, I think that there is a resolution enough that we didn't really need more. But obviously, it was a great movie, so I would have liked it. And since we're talking about the movie anyways, let's just get into it. We'll start with our like non-spoiler overview. Basically, just tell you what we thought about the movie. I mean, we both already said we really liked it. I'll let you go. I guess, what did you expect from the movie? And then...
I could go off about the expectations. So, I was nervous. This is the first time that I've seen Ryan Reynolds attached to a movie, and I was nervous for what was going to happen. Not because I think he would mess it up, but I think I was more concerned about the premise itself. Because you saw the trailers, you saw everything like that, and I was worried it's going to be cheesy as hell. I thought it was going to be corny. I didn't know how or what a good way of making this semi-believable or like what the deal was going to be. You just saw like, guy in a video game breaks out and is like still in a video game but knows he's in a video game. Kind of that weird self-aware thing. I didn't know what they were going to do with that. I don't understand how you take that and you're like, all right, let's make this into something. But having said that, it blew me away.
Yeah.
Going in with that, it really blew me away. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of had that in my mind, but afterwards I couldn't recommend it enough to people. I mean, I walked out of the theater and texted people and was just like, that was amazing. I didn't want to spoil it for you because you saw it at the same time as me, just 3 hours behind.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you feel the same way? Because I think we were on the same page about this.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Yeah. No, and I was going to say, I know what you were saying with the expectations. Like, I think that this premise has been done before. Like, if you want to look at it like the hosts in Westworld or whatever, or in Her, having a relationship with a, like, not that he necessarily even does in this movie, but there are certain premises that this plays with that we're all kind of, before watching the movie, we're like, okay, I get it. How is this going to come across into this big blockbuster that Ryan Reynolds is at the helm of? And also what you were saying with his first one that he's really attached to. I mean, obviously Deadpool, but I guess his first non-Deadpool that he's like really in on. Like, this is a Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah.
And it just couldn't have been better. Like, it took every likable part of Ryan Reynolds, and it was PG-13. That's kind of what I was a little concerned about, because it's just such a different vibe than what we're used to him with Deadpool. But I mean, it just ended up coming across so well. Like, the actual story itself, and not that it's, I think that it basically took these premises that people have been kind of playing around with. Like, if you want to get deep, like AI simulation theory or predetermination. Yeah. Like, it takes all this kind of deeper thinking things that we've seen in Westworld, or like the love of, or getting in a relationship through a video game, like I said, with Her, or with technology.
Yeah.
And it basically makes it really fun. It makes it really accessible to everyone. It has humor. It looked awesome. The acting was great. There were a few actors in this that were just incredible. Like Joe Keery kind of having his first
Joe Keery was awesome.
Like, dude, incredible. I think that there was so much that worked well for this movie, and there's not really anything I could find that I didn't like.
Yeah, no, I feel like everything came together really well, and I don't know if we want to get into spoilers a little bit or anything like that, but I can't see, I didn't see one thing that I didn't like.
Nope. And honestly,
there was nothing glaring about it, like, oh, okay.
I wish they didn't do that
route. Yeah. Even the things that could be viewed as cheesy were done so well that it's not cheesy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I think I know you know what I'm talking about if we want to get into spoilers a little bit. Yeah. But there were a few moments that could be viewed as very cheesy that were woven into the story so well. Like, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so if you haven't seen it, this is a big kind of reveal.
We'll step into the spoiler section here. Actually, but right before that, though, if you are like on the fence about watching it, even though we just said we loved it, you will leave the theater happy. Like, it's such a good mood movie. You'll be flying high for the next, 2 hours, especially if you go see it in the theater and have that communal experience, walk outside. It's nice. And
this is a good movie where it took internet culture, or even video game culture, more so video game culture, and it didn't do the classic thing of here's video games for the sake of video games, or here's the Ready Player One. We'll just throw all this shit in.
You remember these characters?
And you'll get these references because video games. No, it was all very planned, and everything kind of fit in. Even when he sees the menu and there's those weapons, or he sees the different weapons and everything like that, that was very well done, where it's not thrown in your face, because at first you see everybody who's playing the game, they're just using guns, they're using these classic things, they're kind of just playing essentially what is a GTA style game. But it's there's one scene where I even saw a Halo tank in the background, and it's not like there was anything clued in or anything, and if you didn't know, you wouldn't really know, but it's just oh shit, there's a Halo tank.
We got the Easter egg again. Is it a blood splatter, or is it Watchmen?
Yeah. No, it was a Halo tank. It's the very distinctive green one.
Is it just a tank? Hey, Woody.
No.
It's a tank.
I thought you would see it. I genuinely thought you were going to see that one.
I know what you're talking about.
That was a Halo tank. And
it
you
probably
know it
was.
For sure.
Yeah. You want to go into spoilers?
Well, bringing in... Okay, we will go into spoilers now, but The Twitch streamers, I think, was flawlessly integrated.
Mark spoilers. If it's YouTube, it just changed.
Yeah. I think so. We got appearances from Pokimane and we got appearances from Ninja.
Which, by the way,
and a few others.
This is another thing. I'm, I guess, into internet stuff, but I don't really get into gaming. So when those people were showing up, obviously Ninja I knew, and I know Ninja's technically trying to get into acting, I think. So I was like, oh, I guess I see Ninja. And then that Pokimane girl, I thought that she was the OK Boomer girl.
Yeah.
I was like, what's she doing in there? But it's cool that they got Twitch streamers because I know that that's so huge, and I'm just kind of turning a blind eye to it, I guess. Like, I'm probably like an old person in that way, that I'm going to be like, who are all these kids on the sitting there?
Yeah.
like
they're
Twitch is huge.
Yeah, who are these people talking to the screens right now? But so there was the Twitch streamers, the legit ones.
Yeah.
And then there was probably one of my favorite parts was the guy who's playing as Channing Tatum in the movie.
Yes.
But is a Twitch streamer, like, just going to town on Twizzlers for no reason.
Oh,
he was one of the best parts.
Let's just talk about cameos in general too, because that was a huge cameo. Not the guy himself, and I'm gonna pull up IMDb so I get his name because he's in so much other stuff that's great. But his mom, you don't really see her; it's just a voice. But that's Tina Fey.
No way.
Yeah. So Tina Fey plays. It's Maddie Cardarpoli.
Yes.
Cardarpoli. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. He's hilarious.
He is. And then he's playing his Channing Tatum. And I love how flawless the flawless lines between the two where he's like playing his Channing Tatum and then it cuts back to him.
They did that. Yeah.
That's so good. Just say it for my streamers, please. Come on, say the line. Say the line. And then Ryan Reynolds' character is sitting there like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, just not
getting it. What are you doing?
Yeah,
I think that was a great part. Also, did you think at first that Channing Tatum was going to be Taika's character? Because when we first saw him,
either somehow I knew Taika was... Oh, are you saying like that was going to be like a little bit of an Easter egg? Like Taika was...
No, like at first I remember seeing Channing's character when we get that first intro. Like he jumps into the car with the girl. I thought that was Taika playing, like the heads up boss playing as that guy.
I did at first actually, because I thought when they had the stash house and they were watching over all the videotapes that I thought that. So come to think of it, I was a little confused there.
Also, what did you think of Taika's character in this? Because I could go honestly either way, but I know how he played it, and I know it was very purposeful.
Absolutely. I think he was perfect for it, because when we talk about, like, oh, could it be corny, kind of one of those things, I think that it was the perfect amount. Like, I think Taika did exactly what he needed to do, and I think that it worked so well. Like, it was so much more endearing because it was Taika. And there were probably other actors that could do it, but I just love seeing him in that stuff.
It was teetering for me at moments where I was like, is this a little close?
Is he like really bad at acting?
Yeah, like should he stick to directing and then I was like, nah, he's got it. He's got it in the bag.
Dude, there's one, also my favorite character in all the MCU, Korg. Big blue pile of rocks waving at you over here. Like, he said something during it, and I was watching this with my wife, which sounds weird still. But and I turned to her and I was like, that sounded exactly like Korg.
I wonder why.
I was like, but I'm saying, like, even he did like a little bit of a voice at one point, and I was like, that sounded exactly like Korg.
I bet he throws that in here and there whenever he's acting, just because people will pick up and be like,
is that an Easter egg?
That's cool. Yeah. All right.
A little rock, paper, scissors joke for you?
we could salvage a little bit of that. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Oh,
Meek's dead. So more cameos. We had Bank Robber number 2 was voiced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if you heard of him.
It's insane that there's just so many people popping up in this. Yep. I feel like Ryan Reynolds just draws these people in.
The voice of Player was played by John Krasinski.
Can I do the one that I caught?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wrote this down I know you're not supposed to have your phones out in the movies because it's just etiquette. But I was in one of those bigger theaters where I'm not next to anybody.
Yeah.
So I pulled it out right after I noticed this. When Molotov girl is buying the initial thing from that guy in the alleyway.
The map,
masked guys whose voice it was is Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
And I caught that and I ran to my phone to write it down because I was like, that is 1,000% him. I knew he was going to work with Ryan Reynolds at some point.
Well, you're a podcaster,
We
sir.
got him. Yeah.
If anyone looks at you, just say, I'm a podcaster.
Hey, it's for my job.
Yeah. Hey, it's called a career. No, Hugh Jackman's voice in that was one of those things. I think a lot of people are going to be like me. Like when you hear it, you're like, that's someone for sure. I'm just not exactly sure who. Then you hear it's Hugh Jackman. You're like, oh, that's right. Okay. I hear it. We had him, and then another cameo that when he somehow missed was R.I.P. Alex Trebek. A nice lasting thing on his legacy. Basically, they got him when I think they just essentially sent it to him. Ryan Reynolds did some charity work with him before and was just like, hey, I want you to, could you please do this for the movie? We think it'd be great, because they think that the only way to establish that it was a true cultural happening, that blue shirt guy was like known around the world, was through Jeopardy. So
not wrong there, honestly.
Yeah,
I think that
I thought it was fun.
You know you've made it when Alex Trebek reads off something about you, which can't happen anymore, unfortunately. It's so sad, but when Alex Trebek read a clue about your ass, you were big time. I don't care what you did, you made it.
And the
also,
pop culture ones,
There's one last one that we didn't mention. Which is probably my favorite moment in the movie.
I think
honestly.
it's gonna be everyone's. This is like the big moment of the movie.
It was awesome. It was basically Ryan Reynolds' character is fighting a version of him that Taika made, which is hilariously dumb. I love that he would be. Dude. I loved him so much. Adjective.
See, that's what I meant about like Ryan Reynolds' humor, like the Deadpool kind of stuff coming into a PG-13 way. I thought it was incredible.
Catchphrase. TBU. We'll revise later.
Yeah. But Cap himself makes the cameo.
Oh yeah. He pulls out the shield during the fight, and everybody in the world is watching it, and then it's just a cut to Chris Evans, who's just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, and it's the first thing that we really see out of the camp, like out of the big. Hey, this is Disney stuff. Like we're allowed to use this Disney stuff, because he pulls out the shield, and at first, I love how they did it because it shows the back of it, and you're like. And that's going to be Cap's shield, isn't it? And then it turns around and you see it actually is. And then I think right away he has like a Fortnite thing or something, like the unicorn
so
thing.
he had the Fortnite unicorn pickaxe thing, and then he had a lightsaber.
Disney, that was awesome. Disney. And then I love how they hammed that up too. They were like, "Is that a lightsaber?"
Honestly, it was
Disney
really
stuff. It was.
I love lightsabers popping up wherever they possibly can.
Yeah,
I think they're probably one of the coolest things in movies. It's just like everybody knows.
We need as many as how many death or how many ships there were in that last movie. The Emperor was just like, "Oh, here's an entire thing."
This could have been so corny.
Yeah,
but if there was the Cap shield, and then the lightsaber was purple. And the one curse in the movie was used by Samuel L. Jackson, because you're allowed to have like 2 fucks in a PG-13 movie. Samuel L. Jackson's watching and just goes, "Motherfucker."
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome.
Hilarious.
So that's something. And then what I'll say, as just because we're on this subject, something that I thought that they should have done, that I was expecting them to do basically. And now that I say this out loud, it might seem like I was reaching way too hard, and I was just thinking too much about Deadpool. So when they kiss at the end, Joe Keery and sorry, I'm forgetting the actress's name, but their character Jodie Comer, when they kiss at the end. There's like a lot of traffic, and I think a lot of people were like expecting a car to come by or something. Oh my God,
so was I. I was expecting that.
What I was expecting was there was going to be a car that hits one of them, and then there would be like a screen scratch, like it would just stop. The movie would stop, and then Ryan Reynolds would walk out and be like, just kidding. And then it would replay, and then it would have like done that. And I was
That's
like,
way too Deadpool.
It would have been way too Deadpool. I'm surprised, or I'm happy that they didn't end up doing that. But then,
yeah,
like
that was a nice scene.
It was. And so I liked also because I could have been pretty, I think it would have been fine, but I like how they cut away, like right away.
Yeah.
And then also, obviously, we get Ryan Reynolds and Lil Ray Howery at the end just freaking out because they see each other. It was beautiful.
He was awesome in this movie.
Oh, he's incredible. I mean, him, even in Eric Andre's movie, Lil Ray Howery, I love.
He was the perfect best friend for him because he was always so cheery. He's got the perfect like personality and demeanor for him to be that guy who's just like, yeah, we're going to do this every day. That's fine. Yeah, of course. Are you not happy? I do. I think it's a crazy concept overall, too, for them to like the self-awareness of video games, because I don't know. It could be a possibility in the future. I don't want to like stem from it, and I don't want to say anything too deep, but it could be where even something as simple as him ordering like a cappuccino was looked at like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah.
What are you trying to do here, man?
It's interesting.
Yeah,
because we're far removed enough from it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like I don't know, but that's actually something I was thinking was like, and I mentioned the whole thing. It was kind of playing with like simulation theory and predetermination. Like, I was thinking if someone is sitting here in this theater that is like really believes in simulation theory, and you think that you're in a simulation watching a movie that's about someone being in a simulation, that would start tripping you out. I mean, I personally don't buy into it, but I was just thinking that the whole time. Like, I wondered what they thought, just in general, and I don't, who really cares?
I think that's kind of cool. Like, that whole kind of idea would be cool.
That's like, it's gonna be like a QAnon thing. Like, they're gonna be a bunch of simulation theorists being like, don't you see, it's right in front of our faces. Ryan Reynolds is telling us.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is the main character. He's the guy playing the simulation.
I think I also want to know what video game developers thought of this, because I thought that it looked great.
Awesome.
I thought that it was, and I love, like, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but when there are kind of complex things like that we have to deal with, like coding, it just in general, like developing a video game, when you start throwing words that people know, like when he's like, oh, what you built our code, or like our build, it's complex enough that you don't have to explain it, but two, people are like, yeah, I know what that means, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm right there with you.
I feel like the tech literacy of people who go to see this movie in general, and in general nowadays versus even when Ready Player One came out, is just so much higher now, where we understand you don't need to explain anything like this.
Dude, think about if this came out and, like,
oh, it's my build. Oh,
think about explaining this to someone even like in 1980. Like, trying to explain this movie would be like, what are you talking about?
In 1980, you'd show them the scene where he switches to Cap Shield. You'd show up, so you'd first see the menu and be like, what's that? Why? How is he switching like weapons? And then you'd show him the scene with Chris Evans, and he'd be like, who is this man? Why does he care? Why is this one guy? Like,
why does everyone care about this guy?
Yeah, like, what was he on the Dick Van Dyke Show? He's a big deal.
No, yeah, by the way, apparently the way that they got him in it was that Ryan Reynolds texted him because they were filming in the same city, but Chris Evans was like, I literally can do this for 10 minutes, maybe, so like, just send me where I need to be, and I'm in and out 10 minutes, and then they just got that right out of him, and it got in the movie, which we're happy about.
It's perfect. I can't imagine not being in it. It just pulled everything together comedically. Like, for the whole movie, I think that you can't diminish the rest of it. I think that was just, I mean, it was a great moment.
Yeah, I think that the storyline itself was awesome. I think that the comedy was awesome in that way. Like, we mentioned the kind of love stories. Like, I thought it was a good storyline, but I thought everything else around it made it as strong as it was.
oh my gosh, when the two girls who are playing as the bank robber are like, just I told you to waste him. Like,
oh yeah, that was super funny.
They're getting murked. It's just two girls playing as this bank robber.
That's when I thought we might have got some like Deadpool, like more Deadpoolish kind of humor. I was like not exactly sure what we were in for.
Yeah, I think overall, I think it did very well on not being cheesy.
Yeah, actually
hammering down on the concept.
Be specific about what you were thinking could have been cheesy and then like what wasn't.
So what I thought could be cheesy is essentially, and not to say Ready Player One was cheesy in any way, but coming off of that, you see, a movie that's focused on video games and kind of self-awareness in video games and people playing video games outside and having blah, 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 this interaction in between. I was scared that it was almost going to be too much of that, an oversaturation of references and oversaturation of just no story, almost banking on the fact that the novelty of this is a video game and this is what we're going to do in it. So it's not to say that it was going to be bad or anything like that. I was really just hoping that they wouldn't go too hard on the fact that like
all the
video
the
game
cameos.
culture and cameos and
it could have got internet culture-ish and just kind of cringy.
There
did
could
you
have
realize
been
though
no story and just could have banked on references the whole time.
Yeah. Well, what I realized they buried them all at the end during the fight with the dude guy.
Because there was a real plot. There was a real story here. They didn't need it. They used everything at their disposal within the game. And I love that there was that outside aspect of the game too, and then coming back alive. Even something as simple as like Ryan Reynolds waiting for her to come back into the game, being in her like house or lair, and she's just paused, standing there.
Oh yeah. Just like freaked out.
He's just like, come on, seriously? I don't know. I think he plays dumb very well in this movie but it's not, and
endearing.
That's what I like too. It's an endearing dumb versus a purely stupid dumb. So it's like they didn't go overboard with the fact of he doesn't know anything. They played it well where it's, yes, he's learning that this is how it works, you know?
And I also think that they did well with that by like what I was saying before with it's complex enough what they were explaining, but you're like, oh, yeah. I totally get it when they were saying like he built his code to start basically building on itself, and then when they kissed again, he like all the neural pathways were firing, and you're just like, yeah, sure, like I get it.
It was a great love story too.
Yeah, that's what I thought was like her, but better. Like it seems like it's kind of like what a comic book movie that's filmed like they are now would have been back in the day compared to what the MCU is now. Like when Spike Jonze did her, it was like pretty fringe. It was like, oh, this is super interesting, but like that's crazy. And now it's like, all right.
All right, so who do you think was the true main character in this?
Dude, honestly, I think that's another thing that they did super well.
There's no like set.
I mean, it's obviously kind of Ryan Reynolds, but then I think Julie Comer. Just let me make sure I got her name right again, because she also Jodie Comer. So she
killed it.
Very good. And you could say that she was like the actual hero. But then honestly, Joe Keery I thought played a huge role, and even though he wasn't integral to everything, I thought Joe Keery's character was just awesome.
I did love the scenes where he's like hiding in the office, and there's so much drama going on in the game, and meanwhile it's just two heads like typing on their keyboards while everything's happening. In the office, just so much drama, so much pent up stuff, explosions, walls coming in, and then you look back and he's just staring at the keyboard, like making this all happen. Oh, and the best part when they did that is when Joe Keery goes into Taika's office and just like flips him off and enters the code, and Taika's like, what was that? What'd you do there?
That's one of those things that was probably like just, you know, it's for the movie, it's funny, but could have been a little corny because obviously Taika would have known what he was doing, but you know, whatever. It's fun. It's
just
a movie.
Pressed enter, like, what was that?
Yeah, I love how they kind of play around with that too, like something catastrophic that in like this universe could just be done through a simple enter key in real life. Just super anticlimactic.
Do you think that there's any possibility of a sequel for this kind of movie?
There is a sequel coming out.
Is there?
I think it's already confirmed.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
See, and I don't know if I like that, but I think that's just the comedy fan in me being like, it's most likely not going to be good. So let's.
Ryan Reynolds confirms Free Guy's sequel
with snarky tweet. Did you see that vulture thing
I saw
that showed up?
Snarky tweet. Whoa! What was this snarky
with sarcastic tweet? But yeah, it obviously because this movie did well, so they're gonna be like, oh great. I actually am very interested to see this tweet. We're coming at you live, folks.
What is this snarky tweet?
And after 3 years messaging #FreeGuy as an original IP movie, Disney confirmed today they officially want a sequel. Woohoo! #irony.
Okay, I mean, that's awesome. And when was this tweet? Was it today? No, August 14th. All right, so yesterday. Literally was confirmed yesterday. Okay, and then the tweet is Albuquerque boiled turkey, which I think is also one of my favorite lines in the movie.
Incredible. I think that it said in this article I'm reading, it's a BuzzFeed article, so it says one of Taika Waititi's 7 improvised lines. So if Taika actually improvised Albuquerque boiled turkey, then shout out to him.
You got KFC, bro. I'm not going to go and make Albuquerque boiled turkey.
So
I feel like that was a kind of good Taika, honestly.
And then he says, our company, Maximum Effort, has a simple mission. Let's bring people together in a fun, smart, and unexpected ways. Togetherness is the ultimate scarcity good these days. So thank you to all the artists and audiences who come together to make Free Guy such a surprise hit. I honestly, I know that everyone's saying they were surprised, and I think it's just that it even exceeded expectations. But I had pretty big expectations going into this movie just because I love Ryan Reynolds.
I think that's why I was worried, too. I think I had high expectations because I was worried.
Yep.
Like you were. It's relieving. Honestly.
Very relieving. We are so happy with the movie. And
also,
makes you happy.
One last thing I do want to say is that there was a classic connection between Deadpool and this was when he is on the motorcycle with her. There's that slow motion scene with the love song in the background you knew it was just a very Ryan Reynolds-esque kind of thing where he did that in Deadpool where it's that kind of song in the back.
He also picked all the music in this too. He picked the Mariah Carey songs to be walking to and everything. Big movie guy, big music guy.
Big music guy, just like you. You should consult him on some music.
You should be like, hey, Ryan, I thought that worked, but this could have been better.
Exactly. You ever heard of ABBA?
Right, I think we could use some more Swedish girl bands in this.
More European flair. Come on, bring it.
Have you ever considered Depeche Mode?
I love Depeche Mode. Don't talk shit about Depeche Mode. They slap.
All right.
Anything else you want to say about the movie? I think it was,
no,
it works.
Insanely happy. Great movie. It's nice being back in theaters, as we said.
Yeah.
But there's not too... there's a movie called Protégé coming out that I don't know how much our audience would care about, but it looks awesome. So maybe we'll get back into a theater, do that. But do
you see that trailer for the Reminiscence movie with Hugh Jackman? Was that at your theater?
Maybe not.
The Westworld guy. I
saw the trailer for the Jackass movie, by the way. I'm excited
Are we going to go to see that in theaters?
Emotional. Oh, absolutely, dude.
Okay,
it made me it's nice seeing those guys together again. Dude, honestly, everyone in the theater was cracking up too. I was like, this just shows that it's just the stupid hurt yourself humor that everyone can get behind. There's nothing that's not funny about that.
Eric Andre's in it too, and they're like, "What'd you do to Eric?" He's king of torturing people, but when it comes to this, I think it's a next level type shit. When you go with the Jackass guys,
seeing them together was very nice. Yeah. But so there are 2 movies that are set to come out on Netflix: Sweet Girl and Beckett. Maybe we'll talk about subsequent weeks. Maybe Protégé. We'll see. We'll get some. Maybe we'll get some Instagram polls going or something. So follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Let us know what you think about the new format. Let us know what you want to see. What questions you have. start leaving us questions. We'll answer them on the podcast. So we will talk to you then. I'm Kevin.
I'm Winnie.
And we'll see you at the next episode.
Help a cookie, bold tookie.
That's a good one. I like that one.